Episode 8 was released this past week and seemed to borrow a lot of visual styles and themes from THX 1138. This is notable because this is George Lucas's first theatrical film. Now, the actual plot of the show involves Cassian Andor being sent to prison, basically, a very high-tech, high-level security prison that is located underground, actually under lake. And this was a continuation of what happened at the end of episode 7 when Andor was essentially arrested on trumped up charges and sentenced to 6 years in prison. So we get to see kind of the aftermath of this, where it seems like THX 1138 is in the style of the prison itself. A lot of white walls, the prisoners are wearing these white jumpsuits. And it's very interesting in that regard because it looks very similar to the underground society of THX 1138. But more than that, the themes kind of reinforce this idea that it may have been an inspiration. There's a constant focus on production and efficiency. They're having the prisoners build something. It looks possibly maybe a robot, and they're trying to make these things as fast as possible or they'll be reprimanded. But if they're the fastest, they'll get these awards, like their food will actually taste like something, which just sounds dismal that your food doesn't taste like anything. But we see those themes in THX 1138, where it's a society very much driven by order and efficiency and production. So in that way, this episode and THX mirror each other a lot. Now, taking THX as inspiration, if that's what they indeed did, is a pretty smart idea. And we know that modern Star Wars does look back to old inspirations from George Lucas to kind of figure out style. If they're not taking something directly from the original trilogy or the prequels, they'll usually look to concept art or other sources to kind of see what they can do style-wise. Make something new, but that is very reminiscent of the kind of style that the original Star Wars did. So that's not uncommon. We know that they do that. But to kind of look beyond Star Wars and look at other sources for inspiration that came from George Lucas, I think is a very smart idea. Because obviously THX 1138 and the original Star Wars are not all that similar. However, there are some things that are the same, and when you're talking about a style and what to do with that, then I think you can get a lot of good stuff from something like THX 1138, and to me, that's what it seemed like they did. Now, I don't think that's been confirmed. That movie was inspiration for this episode, but just based on the style and kind of the themes and all that stuff, it does seem like that was a strong possibility. So that was something clever I thought they did, but we'll see if we ever get any confirmation on whether it was indeed inspiration. But either way, great show. It was a great episode, and it will be interesting to see how the rest of the season ends.